Welcome to Between Showings, the podcast where two sisters in real estate sit down with the people behind the homes, businesses, and stories shaping our communities. From real estate and entrepreneurship to design, motherhood, lifestyle, and everything in between. These are the conversations happening between showings. We are so excited to bring this podcast to you. We just wanted to share a little bit about why we started this podcast. So Natalie and I were kind of sitting down, and I feel like there can be like a lack of resources for people in general, whether they're new to real estate, they're buyers, they're sellers, they're just interested in the market. Maybe they're not going to buy for another 5 years, but having a place where people can come and just listen and watch to candid conversations from industry experts and business owners, and just a place where you can see us and that we're real people and we truly just love helping. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of just hit it all on the head. I think just having somewhere to go as a reference. We've been in the business a little bit here, so we've been through some things. We've learned some things just from trial and error, and every transaction and interaction that we have, you learn something new. And I think just to
Totally.
be able to share that with, all different buyers, whether it's a first-time home buyer, whether it's an investment buyer, whether somebody who's bought and sold 1 million homes, I think everyone can learn something from someone else. So I think that hopefully this will be helpful to somebody, no matter what stage you're in, just maybe pick up some information and help with one of the biggest purchases of your life, I guess, arguably.
Yeah. I know you said like we've been doing this or been in the business for a while. You've obviously been doing it longer than I have. When did you start? I've kind of lost track of the years, but you've been doing it now.
I feel like I've lost track of the years. So it's kind of funny. Like before I did real estate, I was in the customer service industry for probably 18 years. And it actually happened when I was selling my first house. I was so new to it. It was the first time, my first house I bought from a family member. So I didn't even buy it through an agent. So when we went to sell our home, I connected with a local referral realtor, and she kind of said to me, you'd be really good at this. Like, have you ever thought about like selling real estate? And I was like, no, actually, not at all. That's not my thing. Like, I'm not into this. And then I kind of took a pause. The funny thing is I started my classes, and then during the classes, I was like, yeah, this is not for me. And then I stopped and I quit.
There's like a lot of math and
Yeah,
a
like
lot
I
of
just not.
words.
Yeah, no. I'm more of a talker. I don't need to do all this work and all this stuff here. So then I all of a sudden, I don't know what happened again, but I'm like, you know what? I should just try it. Like, what do I have to lose? So I went back, did the work. My ADD kicked in. I paused a little bit, but got back together, did it. And then my first transaction, I'll never forget it. And then I just kind of went from there, and I just fell in love with it. I really love helping everybody. First time home buyers are probably my favorite because I just think it's so exciting and it's
Yeah.
new and you can really educate people. But I really fell in love with the business, and I just loved helping people. And yeah,
You didn't do it full time forever. So what
I
was
didn't.
that like?
So I did it part-time for a while, just because I needed to have health insurance and all the things
Yeah.
that, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't have. So that was a little bit tougher, but I would say I'm pretty good at multitasking. And I think in this business, you have to be good at that.
Mhm.
So I was able to still have a full-time job and do real estate and be able to, support my clients and be there for them. And then all of a sudden, someone one day said, why don't you just do this full time? Like, I think if you really took the time and focused your energy, you would do great at it. And then I think I just prayed about it. And I all of a sudden one day was like, well, I either have to do this now or I might regret it forever. And I just took the leap, and I'm glad I did because now it's a full time business. And I was able to bring on you as my sister, which was super fun. And we
Yeah.
get to work together, which is great. And I think it's been over 10 or 11 years now I've been doing this, and it really has gone fast.
I think it's more than that.
It could be. It could
I
be.
feel like
I
that's
still
10
feel
years ago, at least 7 years ago.
it could be. It could be, actually.
I've been doing it for 5. So
Oh gosh. Well, then maybe it's closer to
you're like
15.
at least 15.
Well, not that old, but yes, it's been a while, but yes.
And I kind of have a similar story-ish where my sister was just like, yeah, do this. It'll be so much fun. I think you selfishly just wanted me to work with you because we
I don't like to do anything alone.
worked in jobs
Yeah.
like even though we're 14 years apart, we've worked in jobs together in different ways for a long
Yeah.
time. And it is fun. And I get to learn from you. And we both have different and unique gifts and talents, I think. So I learn
Yeah.
things from you and I can share things that are different that I do and you can learn from
Yeah.
it. And different generations kind of really too, which is interesting and helpful, I think, in different ways. And we
Yeah.
bring different clientele to the table. But yeah, I
I
mean,
think
I
I
originally Oh, I was just gonna say
no,
I
I was
originally
just
wanted to do it because you said that, but then also I loved marketing when I was in it, but I also someone who always wanted to keep learning and keep filling my plate and evolving as a person. And part of me was just drawn to learning the real estate industry in general.
yeah, and I think you had just maybe were thinking of purchasing your first home too, so it's interesting when you're in that
Yeah.
stage of life, how it kind of you just wanna learn more about it, and I don't know, I think
Yeah. And I think it was kind of when I feel like Airbnbs and like rental properties were like
yeah,
exploding. Like it was kind of at the peak of that was kind of a really sexy industry. I kind of want to know how they
for
do
sure.
this. And I want to know about homes. And it's a great thing to learn about because it's real life and that's not
Yeah,
something they teach you in school. Your mortgage and who are
yeah,
you, your escrow and title company and lenders. And those are just not things that are taught to you. So
no. I was
it's
thinking
actually
the other day
beneficial.
when you stop learning, you stop earning in this business, I think. And
Yeah.
like you were saying too, like I feel like even though you haven't been in the business as long as I have, whatever, I still learn from you when we discuss transactions or,
Yeah.
if we talk about certain clients, it's and certain relationships.
Subscription.
Constantly I think in this business you need to be educating yourself and learning and changing with, the rules and the
Yeah.
laws and I just think the market trends and buyers and sellers and what people want. And there's just so much I think that you need to keep up with and keep on top of to really be successful.
Another thing I think that drew me to the industry specifically is I always wanted to go to school for a psychology degree, but I never wanted to really be a counselor necessarily.
Sure.
I feel like I would take that like stress home with me all the time, or didn't really know what I would do with a psychology degree. But I
Yeah.
feel like real estate also gives me like fuels that for me because at the end of the day, you are just reading people and working with people and
Yeah.
communicating in different communication styles based on who you're working with. And
Managing emotions.
yeah. And so I get that in this too, which I like a lot.
Definitely. You're fixing problems before they happen, I think, or before they're
Yes.
made known to anybody else. I think, you're dealing with husbands and wives, and sometimes you're dealing with families and estates.
Hmm.
And, sometimes you're dealing with really happy things too, like marriages and, growing families and expanding families who need bigger homes. But sometimes you're dealing with sad things like death and divorce and,
Right.
things that aren't great either. So I think just managing all of that sometimes and people's different emotions and like you said, getting a read on or reading different people. And I think that's kind of a gift that you definitely have. And I think that it's a big part of our job and what we do.
Huge. And like you were saying before, we both came from some level of customer service industry, at some point of our career. And then you kind of were in a little bit of a marketing role part time for a minute. I
Yeah.
was marketing full time for like 9 years. And then I was like super inspired by you taking the leap of faith. And it's been a long time coming for me,
Yeah.
but I finally decided to take this on full time. And that has been eye-opening and a game changer, especially with young kids at home. I think
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing where you can manage business and build your own thing, but also are allowed to have time with your family and you don't have to necessarily answer to anyone else. But you have to be very disciplined because if you're not, things
Yeah.
can just kind of not keep happening for you essentially.
Yeah, and my family will tell you I'm never really off of work, even on
Exactly.
vacation, but that's okay because I can still manage my own time even if I do it poorly sometimes,
Yes.
but that's
But
okay. I like the variety.
yeah, same. Did you ever think you would end up in real estate?
No, well, first of all, when I was young, I wanted to be a marine biologist because everybody in the
Didn't
80s wanted to
everyone?
be a marine biologist. Work like at, SeaWorld with
Girls.
work at SeaWorld, but that was never gonna happen. But no, I didn't, and, it's interesting now looking back, I've always loved design and home decor. I like working with people, and it just kind of all meshed together, and yeah, and even working new construction, that was something that was on, like, a vision board, if you wanna say it, of mine, was to kinda get into that new construction, and one year that just kind of fell into place as well, like, you meet the right people, and, I met my friend Laura, and she's like, "You'd be great at this." And
Yeah.
so now, inviting that new construction piece into the mix has been, really cool too.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit more about the new construction. You've
Sure.
been doing that for a little bit less time, but what's the company like when you say new construction? How are you helping people with new construction?
Yeah. So I work for Victory Homes and Allen Builders. They've been around for over 20 plus years. They have a great reputation in southeastern Wisconsin. They build some beautiful homes in some amazing locations. So,
Which one
this
is going to be the Christmas house this year?
yeah. The fantasy house is here, which is gonna be super cool. It's in the Village of Summit, Bark River Conservancy subdivision. It's a beautiful home. You kind of toured it a couple weekends ago. So, yeah, I'm very excited about that. I love all things Christmas, so this combination of beautiful homes and Christmas decor could not be any better. But yeah, so, this market's been tough for people. Some of those higher end buyers who are looking for homes, they're like looking in the, 800,000 plus range, but realizing they need to renovate or, stick a bunch of money into something. They just don't have the time or energy to do it. Building has really been, I think, an answer to some of those people who have been, just on the fence about what to do. Like, hey, do I remodel what I'm doing now? Do I look for something existing and then have to put all this money and time and energy into it? Or do I start from scratch and build something that fits my family,
Yeah.
um, and works for me? So I think that's really been a nice little piece of the puzzle that I've been able to provide for, clients. So, yeah.
Um, I love that. And I love that you're able to do both of those things now. And I get to learn about new construction through you
Yeah.
too. What do you feel like is the biggest hurdle working with me?
Working with you? That's a good question. Okay, we can start with the best thing. I think the best thing is you know who I am and my personality. So on my good days and bad days, I feel like there's no judgment because you probably know me the best out of anybody. I honestly probably anybody out there. And I can vent to you and I know that you just are gonna be like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Worst thing?
I feel like in business, like if you knew us when I was young, we
Yeah.
really butted heads, even though we are really far apart.
Yes.
But I feel like in business, like it's just facts. And so like it's
Yeah.
not like we're arguing. We're working with different clients where we collaborate, but there's not like
It's
it's not
not
like we have
competition.
competition. Yeah.
Yeah, I think probably one of the hardest parts for me, it's hard, but it's a positive. You're very much, even
We're
today,
like, yeah.
I was like, "This podcast at 1:30, like, I have to put makeup on and, like, do all the things," and you're like, "Yes, we're doing it and we're getting it done." So, to have you do that for me is super helpful, even though it might be annoying.
Yeah. Like a
It's
blessing and a
wonderful.
curse.
Yeah, it's a blessing in disguise. Yeah,
You just got to do it.
just gonna do it. Rip the Band-Aid
Yeah.
off.
I think that's the biggest difference between us, which it probably would be really bad if we were both like extremely type A. Like that
Yeah,
would
oh
probably be
gosh.
bad.
Yeah.
So I think those are the biggest differences. But
Yeah.
I also think like I can take things more like literally or analytically.
Yes.
And you're very more like, really good with people. And not that I'm like bad with people, but you're just it's just a little
Yeah,
different, like
whatever, we'll make it work.
outgoing
Yeah. Mhm.
and things like that. So I just feel like
Yeah.
there's always things we can learn from each other.
Yeah, definitely. It works well.
I'm trying to think if there's any like really funny thing that happened while we were working together at all.
I remember
Well,
one time trying to watch you
you
lock
go.
a front door.
What?
I remember one time trying to watch you lock lock
Ooh,
box or a front door, and I was starting to sweat for you.
I sweat every time I open a door.
Well, they're all like, "What is going
They're
on?"
terrible.
Oh, terrible. And some of those ancient lock boxes, I'm like, "Can we look alive,
The
people? What are we doing?"
the ancient lock boxes, some doorknobs, like the agent should really just say like they need to be specific. If like you have to press like multiple buttons before you enter a code, or like
Wiggle it 6 times
sometimes
and
you
then
get
push it
a
up and
shimmy
to the
to the
left.
left.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
tell me so I'm not
It's terrible.
like fiddling with it in front of my
No.
client. It's so embarrassing.
Or those lock boxes that are like your, like, doomsday locker combination where you have to, like,
Yeah.
pass by it twice and pass back this way. I always
Yeah.
make that awkward joke like, "Ha, ha, ha," just like your locker in high school. It's
Yeah.
so embarrassing because I'm just
So,
like, "Wait, did I do it? I don't."
like, you need to always get there at least 10, 15 minutes early just so I can get the lockbox
Yeah,
unlocked before anyone
yeah.
watches
I
it.
don't wanna be shamed. No.
I mean, I've opened doors where, like, the key, it, like, literally doesn't work because the doorknob's broken. There's just been
Yeah, and, like, like, that's, like, the worst that's the first point of entry, so, like, what are we doing? Or, like,
yeah.
tell me to come in a different way. I don't know. Or just keep the door open. I don't know.
I
Something like
think,
that.
like, some of my funniest memories are probably, like I feel like I've come on showing or listing appointments with you and like sat in the car or because you didn't know the person or
I was
like there was
afraid.
like a sense of like security in the
Yeah.
car. Or there's like if you use Sentry lock boxes, there's a safety feature
Oh, that was
and
a good one.
I'm your safety
Yeah.
backup number. And so
Yeah.
you have to like hit a button when you walk into the door. And all of a sudden, I knew she was going on the showing. All of a sudden, I'm getting like text messages like, so and so started the showing at 4:50 and still hasn't like said anything. Check agent safety. And I'm like, I think she's okay.
That was
But
part of my that's part of my personality disorder. I said it, but then I didn't know how to disable it. So all of a sudden, I got 2 text messages like, "You alive? You okay?" I'm like, "What is going on?" I'm like, "Yes,
yeah,
I'm fine." And they're like, "It said you went into a showing, but, like, you're, like, never left the house." No, I did. I did leave.
it's so funny. What do
That
you
was a good
think?
one.
I feel like this is a little bit of like behind the scenes of real estate, like the crappy doorknobs, the stupid lock boxes, like all the little things that are happening. I mean,
Yeah.
the amount of houses we've even had to go into where we've had listings and have had to like physically clean or empty out houses or just the things that you do that are not in your job description to get the sale done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've had to walk dogs. I've had to I remember scrubbing toilets once. I remember wiping down, like, switch plates as fast as I could because, like, little fingerprints were everywhere. Trying to think of other things. I've taken out garbage. I put garbage in my car.
Yeah.
I remember one time, this is like they're like my favorite clients, and it was so funny. We were getting ready for pictures, and the wife was out of town, and she was like, "Natalie, like, he's not gonna know what to do. My husband's not gonna know what's going on, so, like, you're gonna have to, like, help him move stuff." And I got there, and bless his heart, there was stuff everywhere, all over the counters. And I was like, "All right, Mike, like, we have, like, 30 minutes," and we just started shoving things everywhere, like, in microwaves and in the stove and, like, just to get it out of the because, I have a certain standard when it comes to my listings, like, I want them
Yeah.
to look a certain way, and he's laughing, and I said, "Okay, well," after the pictures were done, I'm like, "I don't have time to, like, unpack all this now." So I said,
Right.
"Before you turn on a stove or a microwave or, like, make a pizza, you need to make sure you're checking, like, all the
Oh my
things
God.
because your house is gonna burn down." So I remember his wife coming home and being like, "Where are the keys?" And I'm like, "Oh, I think they're, like, in the bottom where you put, like, your pans under the stove, like, that's where your key box is." Like, yeah.
Literally.
So I think that's yeah, kinda
What
some
do
of
you
the
think
crazy
are
stuff.
some of, like, the hardest parts of real estate? And then also on the flip side, like, the most rewarding parts?
I think some of the hardest parts are, like and I think you're very much like me, like, I carry everyone's emotions with
Yeah.
me, so I think, like, if there's, like, a transaction that maybe isn't going well, like, I
Mhm.
internalize that. And I don't sleep at night, and I'm constantly just want what's best for my clients, so I think, like, taking on all their, heaviness sometimes if it's the difficult transaction, I think or even just the emotions of, like, moving sometimes, like, if you have, like,
Yeah.
a husband and wife have been in their house for 30 years, and they're downsizing because they can't take care of their property anymore, and they moving to a condo, even if it's a happy time, it's like, you think
Yeah.
about all their memories in that house, and
Yeah.
I don't know, sometimes it's just a can be difficult.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I almost act as if, like, every transaction is, like, my transaction.
Yeah, like, they're your family.
Like, I'm buying this house, and so I take it all
Yeah,
very serious and very personal because I really do put, like, my heart and soul into it, and that's, like, great because I really do care about my clients, but also, like,
yeah.
taxing because it's like I'm buying a house 15 times,
Yeah, right?
and I'm
Yeah, 50 times a month. And don't you think sometimes too, like, you've walked into a house too, and I think we're, like, honest to the fact where it's like, "Listen, you're not buying this house, like,
Yeah.
we're gonna keep looking." Like, I think that's something that both you and I do well, even though it can be a hard conversation, like, they
Mhm.
are like our clients are like our family, and I'm like, "Listen, like, this house, I'm just not feeling it for you. Like, we're not
Yeah.
doing this. Like, we're gonna keep looking." And yeah, just that honesty.
Totally. Yeah, I think beyond real estate, we're both moms. I think
Yes.
that I think real estate is like an amazing profession for a mother. Would you
Yeah.
agree?
Yeah, and we're at different stages, right? Like,
Yeah.
when my kids were little, I didn't do real estate, but I have, a college kid and a kid going into high school soon. I think that it provides well, I think it provides, a great income, number 1, so you can take care of yourself and your children and all the things that are so expensive, and I think it offers, time to be able to move my kid into college and be able to pick them up from school at 3 o'clock and go to their games and, be able to just be present, and I think that you probably feel that with having a little toddler at home.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into taking care of that.
You're in like the chauffeur stage
Yes.
where you're driving everywhere. And
Yeah.
I'm just in the chaos stage of I'm home, but it's chaotic.
Chaos. Yeah. Waiting for him to
Yeah.
wake up right now.
Yeah, he's sleeping. But yeah, it's a blessing. And even like when I got my license, like I like watched you obviously be a mom. And I always in the back of my mind thought at some point in my life when that happens, like this could be a really good opportunity to still really kind of shape my own type of business that I want to have, but
Yeah.
also allow me time to be with my children when they're young because it only happens once. And I think finding that balance is really hard when you're stuck on a 9 to 5 schedule because
Yeah.
you're guaranteed not to see them for 40 hours in a week. Whereas I can shift when I'm working on things based on when they're awake or
Mhm.
whatever that looks like in my
And if you
schedule.
talk to
So,
my kids, they'll laugh because how many times have they had to go on showings with me and sit
yeah.
in the car and wait? They're like, "How many hours is this one?"
Yeah. They'll
I'm like,
listen and be
"Well,
like,
sorry."
you're taking to him game and you're like, I remember you're on the phone. You're like, we have to stop and do one showing on the way. And he's like,
I know. I know. I'm like, "Bring a buck. I'll keep the air on."
so
I
funny.
know. But I think it is really nice to just be able to have that flexibility, in your business and life. I just, yeah, it's kind of an invaluable thing.
Yeah. Okay. I want to do some fun rapid fire
Oh
questions.
gosh.
So
Okay.
we can both
I hope I'm sharp enough
answer.
for this.
Well, they're real simple, like coffee or tea.
That I can handle.
Actually, we should answer for each other.
Okay. That would be good.
So this will be easy.
Okay.
I think you love coffee.
I mean, yeah, same for you.
Yeah. Morning person or night owl?
You're a morning person.
Yeah. I think you are too. You're a morning
Yeah.
person.
I'm
Yeah.
up way too early every day.
You're up earlier than I am. It's slightly concerning.
Yeah. Slightly concerning. Hence why I
Favorite
wear
ro-
my glasses.
favorite room in your house?
Favorite room in your house? I'm gonna
Well, for
say
me,
is for you, it'd be your cute little 3-season room.
yeah, for sure.
All those windows.
I'm gonna go off your Oconomowoc house, which would
Oh, yeah.
be, I think your basement because it's brand new.
It's gonna be so
It's
nice.
not done yet, but I feel like that would
No,
be
it's coming.
your
Yeah.
favorite 'cause it
I'm
sounds good.
excited.
Dream home style.
Ooh, I feel like you have a lot of different ones because I think, like, you could handle like, I think you would love, like, that coastal
Yeah,
Carolina vibe, but I think you also like that really cozy separated room, Ralph
yeah,
Lauren, like,
vintage.
yeah, vintage, heavy plaid and dark
Yeah,
color, but then you also like that light airy, so maybe a little mix. Maybe you need 2
yeah,
houses,
I think that would be the
one on
plan.
the coast, one in the suburbs.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like yours would be, trying to think of the word, like, not farmhouse modern, but like a transitional
Maybe more that Scandinavian look,
yeah, maybe like
maybe?
Scandinavian fine,
Yeah, simple,
where
not a
it's
lot
like
of color.
cleaner yeah, cleaner, neutral.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough
yeah.
one.
That is a tough I don't know the right word either, but I get it.
Biggest real estate pet peeve.
Oh,
Oh, I
I
mean, I
think
think both of ours are probably like bad communication from other agents.
oh, the worst. It's the worst. Because I feel like I'm an over communicator and oversharer, and I
Yeah,
probably rapid fire text back when I probably should pause for a minute, but that's just not my personality.
yeah,
And so when I have to wait more than 30 minutes for a response, I get frustrated.
me too. What's like
Yeah.
eternity when you're like gonna be writing an offer?
Yeah. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" I mean, I'm busy,
Yeah,
like, and I'm getting back to you.
especially when you have you have just had a listing and you have X amount of showings. Like I am like looking at my phone every
Glued
couple
to it.
minutes.
Yeah. Plus, I like the excitement of it,
I think that's it too. I
the
like it's a
adrenaline
little bit
rush. Yeah.
adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. I'm not really sure. Zillow or Realtor.com.
Can I
Or
say
like,
neither?
yeah,
No.
like maybe what are like myths about them or
Yeah. I think the hard thing with and it's getting maybe a little bit better now because people are becoming more educated about it, but like the Zestimate where someone was like,
yeah.
"My house is worth this." And I'm like, "Listen,
Oh,
Zillow's literally never been in your front door.
right.
They've never seen your house. They've never looked at your horrible paint colors or your great paint colors or the fact that your
Yeah.
house smells like something it shouldn't or
Right.
So I think that was a frustrating thing for a while. People were leaning so heavily on that Zestimate of what their house was worth versus
That's true.
actually real, information.
Yeah.
Realtor is just something that people go on, whatever,
Yeah.
but they'll be like, "Oh, I see another foreclosure." And I'm like, "Well, that's not real, actually."
Right.
But yeah, it can be frustrating.
It can be frustrating, but that's why you need a great agent. New build or century home?
I think you would do a century home
Yeah.
or a new build with the century home feel.
Yeah. I think you would do a new home?
Yeah, new build.
Well, I
I've
mean, it
been
makes
down that
sense. You're a
I've
new
been down
construction.
that road of remodeling, and I'm not doing that again.
Yeah,
Too much work.
that's fair. I wish I was handier.
Yeah, that would be my superpower. Someone asked me that, like, they were like, "If you could have, like, one superpower, what would it
Yeah.
be?" And I was kind of embarrassed to say it because I was like, "This is so weird." But I was like, "I wish I was, like, a handyman." Like, I wish I could, like,
Yeah.
do construction and, like, put in floors and do all those
Mhm.
things that I can't do.
Yeah.
It would be
I
super
would
fun.
love to. Yeah, I would l I have, like, a decent level of handy.
You are
I
way better than me.
I could install, like, a light fixture if I had to,
No, I could not.
but like, actually, like, working with, like, wood, I think would be interesting, where you
Yeah,
said, like, rip the tile up and redo it myself
yeah.
or that kinda stuff.
I know, I feel like you probably could
Yeah.
way more than me. My attention, I would half of
It's
your
a lot.
department would be done. Yeah, we'd be done.
But then you, like, have to buy all the tools, and that's the problem.
Yeah, and then
All of a
if it
sudden,
goes
I'm buying,
wrong,
like, a saw and
you need a whole workshop.
Yeah.
No, too much. But yeah,
Beach or cabin?
I'm gonna say beach for you.
I think beach for you too.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
need the
like
ocean.
yeah, I thought
I'll
cabin at first, but I feel like if you could choose,
yeah, I'll take both, but I need the ocean at least once a year.
go to Starbucks order.
This might be horrible to say, but
Not Starbucks if it's an option.
I know, like a little mom and pop coffee shop I'd prefer, and I think you would too. But if Starbucks is my only option or your only option, you like the shaken
Hmm,
oat milk shaken espresso,
do you like those?
the brown sugar one.
I think you'd get a iced Americano with cold foam
That's my fave.
or
So good.
or a hot one with cold foam.
Yeah, and then they question my order every time because 'cause they're like, "Lady,
It's
you
gonna
know that's
melt.
gonna
Oh.
melt. What are you doing?"
And then I think just, like, closing up, what people can expect from this podcast is just kind of like real life real estate advice, like us sharing stories of real estate or home buying and selling tips. We're gonna have a lot of different experts on about home staging and interior design and lending and new construction and hopefully, like, some business owners in the local areas that we're in, just to kind of encompass like everything that real estate is. And like we called the show between showings because there's so many little things that are going on between what we're doing on an everyday basis. And I think
I
it's
think
really important for people to hear like the behind the scenes. They don't always get that.
I think so too, and I think, the little places that you visit when you're on showings, like little new
Yeah.
towns that you haven't been to. I think back when we actually came up with this idea for the name of the podcast, do you remember we went to that little sub shop we still have to
Yeah. Yes.
revisit because we didn't have any cash on us and they only took cash, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Well, I have $2 and that's not gonna do it." So,
Yeah.
but we have to revisit that, but I think, like what you said, like, what happens between showings and where we go and all the new places that, we can bring to people too.
Yeah. And we were literally on phone calls negotiating for people. And
In
we're
parking
like, we
lot.
need coffee. We got to go steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I just, like, I'm excited to kind of talk with you and share entrepreneurship, motherhood, all the good things. We definitely will be having question and answer sessions where we take information from people and we want to make sure that it's suiting our listeners. And so we hope to really offer value. And I just so glad that we started this.
Yeah, same. Thanks for the push.
Welcome. And I just want to thank all the listeners, and I hope you get a lot out of this podcast and future episodes. And we'll definitely invite you to subscribe and leave a review. And we're going to have open forums where you can ask questions and submit topics or ideas. And yeah, we'd love to hear from you guys. And whether you're buying your first home, selling your fifth house, chasing toddlers, or building a business, or just trying to figure life out one day at a time, we are so glad that you're here. And thanks for spending time with us. And we'll see you next time between showing.